I'm Shahrukh Khan and I'm an actor. I've been shooting here for 15 days here in a place called Neom, which is some kilometers away from. It's a desert. It's very beautiful. It's a film called, in English, it would be called Donkey. It is Donkey, but the way a part of the country pronounces donkey in India is Dunki. The Punjabis, they say Dunki. So, now how much to tell you about the story? So it's a film directed by, I think, uh, one of the most brilliant filmmakers we've had in the country, Mr. Raju Hirani. And uh, it's written by, again, a very fantastic writer, Avijat. And it's a story of people, how do I say, who want to come back home uh, when you finally get the calling. But it's a comic film. It starts in comedy. His films are always a mix of comedy and a lot of emotions and about the country. So it's a big journey film and goes through different areas around the world and finally comes back home to India. Whenever a country starts shooting and it's not used to making films, they have some teething problems. So I went back to the ministry and we spoke to them once on the phone, and they were so kind. I think the nicest part here is that they want to do it. I think half the battle is won when you're trying to make films. I think half the battle is won if you just want to do it. So, one, the locations are beautiful. That's why we came. Actually, there was no, we hadn't really thought because one had not really seen Saudi Arabia. I'd been here once before to Riyadh a couple of years back or 3 years back for a night. But we hadn't seen the location. So when the director and the team came here and the cameraman, they were like, oh, wow, it's beautiful if you could shoot here. And we requested them. They were very kind. They got us the equipment. They've done all the facilities. And I think at the place we were shooting in Neom, they've even put up a green screen studio now. And they have this amazing arrangement there where they have lots of these trailers. So you can live in the desert, shoot in the desert, and eat in the desert. And it's all been done and do some studio work also in the desert. So it's quite marvelous. And we shot here in Jeddah, actually, maybe right opposite here, the hotel on the pier. So it was really nice. And beyond everything else, I think the people are very hospitable. Specifically, I think being from India, we have an outstanding cultural affinity. So there's a lot of love for Indian films, Indian actors, and you go down on the roads. And we went down to have coffee somewhere one night after we wrapped. We had finished the schedule here, and we said, "Where to go? Let's go down for coffee." So we went to this lovely place, and they gave us coffee. They made us some cake. They celebrated, and they wouldn't take money from us. So they're very kind, very hospitable people here. Lovely the local Saudis here, the immigrants, the officials. I think it's been really, really nice. And today is actually the last day. So for me, it's like a wrap party at the Red Sea Film Festival. I just finished a long film, which is one of my favorite films, but unfortunately tanked at the box office. It's a film called Zero. It's about a vertically challenged naughty guy and who goes to Mars finally. We shot it in Huntsville in Florida and really nice. It's about space and stuff. Uh, and my daughter was going to college, NYU, to study acting. And what I realized is when kids go far to study, my elder son was at USC doing film production. If they call upon you, if you're in the middle of a shooting schedule, you can't leave and go to America. So you're like, oh, I wish I could be there. Only the mother would go there, and I used to miss that. So when she transferred from England to New York, I thought I'll keep 6, 7 months. She may feel lonely in New York. She may want me to come, and if the wife can't go, then I'll say, listen, I'll go. I'm free. And if you're making films, you're in a look and stuff. It becomes difficult to just leave everything and fly down. So I waited 8 months. She never called me. I said, now she'll call me, now she'll call me. And I stopped filming and I didn't sign any film. And I was sitting at home and I'm like, maybe she'll call me, maybe she'll call me. She didn't call me. So I guess after some time I thought this was wrong. So I called her one day and I said, listen, may I just start working now? She said, but why aren't you working? So I said, because I thought you'll call me, you'll feel lonely in New York and, film school, acting school, maybe you'd want some tips. She said, no, I'm having too much fun. You please stay away from here. So I never went actually. And then COVID happened and everything kind of shut down. So yeah, 2.5, 3 years went, and I was happy. I have 3 kids. One was finishing college, one was going into college, and I have a small one. So I decided to do something as good as filmmaking, which I never thought I'll take a break from filmmaking. I've been working for 32 years, nonstop, 18 hours a day. But it was nice because I did the second best thing which I wanted to do, learn Italian cooking. So I learned cooking. I sat at home. Now I make the most awesome pizza. I have my own oven. I can do, okay, till you taste it, I do some of the best pasta. So I feed the kids, I hung out with them, and then we started making this film, Pathan, which what we did is we tried this experiment in India to do it in a studio, put everyone in a hotel, just quarantine them, let them not come out, and it worked. It was hard on most of the unit because they had to stay away from home while being in Mumbai, but they all stayed in hotels, and it was all sanitized, and we shot, and nobody fell sick. Fortunately, we used to obviously inoculate, and uh, and this is I've never done an action film. I've done really sweet love stories. I've done some social dramas. I've done some bad guys, but nobody was taking me for action. I'm 57 years old, and I thought for the next 10 years I have to do action films. I want to do impossible-ish kind of films. I want to do over-the-top action films because I think in India the technology of filmmaking in the last 7 8 years, and I would take a part of that credit specifically with my company, bringing in stuff, learning visual effects for the last 10 15 years. I think we've gone ahead leaps and bounds. So I want to use all that knowledge, and young kids, mine specifically, like action films. So Pathan is an action film set all over the place: Spain, Russia, Dubai, Somalia, lots of places, lots of places. Yeah. I started with television in 1990 when television was really new. Series were new in India. Television was there. But I think, you know, how in South America and in America, you started having these dynasties and, you know, big shows. And I'm a theater actor. And, you know, we got this opportunity to work on television. From television, um, things moved on. I moved on to films. And so I was very happy just being on television. Actually, I'm very happy just being on stage. Then the video VCR came in, and you know, everybody started, video kills the radio star, in my mind and in my car, and they said VCR will kill television and VCR will kill movies and theaters. So I'm really not well equipped. I think nobody in the world right now is well equipped enough to say what's going to happen as far as box office is concerned. Uh, but I think one thing I can tell you with a lot of confidence, that human beings by nature are social beings. There's a lot of happiness in community eating, community watching, community just sitting, community just joking, you know, community having a live TV show. Get 5 7 people chatting with each other. It's always more fun. We are social beings. I think film watching will have its own different spaces. Different platforms will have different kind of stuff. Like reality television is there on television. You won't go and see it on a big screen, maybe. There will be films. As a production house and Red Chilies, we do lots of films for specifically OTT, for Netflix and for Amazon and for Hotstar. We have huge presence there. And then there are certain films you say, no, yeah, I'm going to see Avatar on the big screen. I'm going to see mm, loads of the films, Mission Impossible. I'm going to see it on big screen. Um, I want to see I wanted to see even Bullet Train on the big screen, to be honest. But that's okay if it came here. So I'm not. I think I'm not very. How do differentiating between platforms. I think we will find spaces for the kind of cinema and storytelling in different platforms. Cinema viewing, I don't think is going to shut down anytime soon because I've been through these phases of television coming in, or nobody's watching movies. VCR coming in, nobody watching movies. 32 years, I've seen it through. And yes, there is always a dent. There is a bit of a problem. Cinema changes itself and then comes back and, you know, invites people in hordes. It's community viewing. So cinema, theater, you know, when you go to watch, you want to go to Lion King, you want to watch with your kids, you want to go with people. It's an outing. So I guess films, yes, box office has got affected, specifically because of COVID. Watching habits have changed. But I think it'll all settle down and come back to, and then films will find their space at the box office. Some films will find space on streaming platforms. Some will stick to television. The one I don't like is when people watch films of any kind on the telephone. They're too small. I think films look too small on television, I think. So I request everyone, let not telephone take over. Streaming, everything else, everything is fantastic.